Welcome to the MMA Heat podcast. Karyn Bryant coming to you from Abu Dhabi, and I'm here with...
What's up, guys? Alan Jouban. I'm still here in LA. Thank you, Karyn, for staying up late, getting this podcast done for our people. I know you're tired. We're going to get some good stuff into them.
Yeah, thanks. Yesterday was just too rough with the traveling because I got in Monday morning or something like that and was up for a while and everything, but then I really did not feel very good. It's 11 hour. I'm 11 hours ahead now, and it's a long flight. I had worked Saturday night, only napped for like an hour and a half, got, slept some on the plane, did it like I was not in it yesterday. So much better today. Got a good night's sleep, jumped my rope for the first time since Thursday, which is insane. So getting back on track, but I was napping a little while ago. But anyway, Alan, you have big fight news, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's looking like everything is good. I was able to sign on the dotted line, and hopefully my opponent did too. But it's looking like November 21st, Gerald Night Train Gooden on UFC 255, which is, again, I think that's the Amanda Nunes card. Cody Garbrandt getting a crack at the title shot as well. So it'll be fun, man. It'll be a good shot. We're about 9 weeks away. Training my butt off. I mean, it's back to being in that two-a-days all the time, grinding it out. But I find that I missed it, and I'm remembering so much stuff. It's like every day I go, oh, yeah, I used to tap people with this all the time. I used to land this punch. So bringing back old things and learning new things. But I'm excited. It's going to be a fun fight. I'm going to move forward in this fight and try to take this guy out for sure. I don't want it to be another snooze fest like my other one. So excited for this fight.
Nice. No, it'll be really cool. And I know, unfortunately, I don't usually work pay-per-views, but hopefully something happens and we get to do that one because I think that would obviously be great. So, that's awesome. But yeah, there's a lot to go through. Obviously, we can talk about what happened this past weekend with Colby and Tyron and look ahead a little to UFC 253. I don't know even where you start on the themes with this, right? I mean, one of the things I saw is a lot of people, obviously immediately said that Tyron should retire, and he was putting out a video saying he's not retiring and not thinking of it yet. I gotta believe it's a thought, but he did say that he wasn't going to. So I'm curious what your take is on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's where his heart's at. Where is Tyron's heart? And he's saying that, look, I'm not retiring. I'm not moving. I'm not changing camps. I'm not changing coaches. I'm still fighting. I'm going to heal up and get back in there. So good for him. He still feels that he has that fire and desire to fight inside of him. So he's going to do that. I think it becomes, where does Tyron want to finish his legacy at? Cowboy, for instance, who fought on the same card. We'll get into that later. But Cowboy's the guy that he can continue to lose fights and fight kind of random fun fights. But he was never the champion. He was never the guy always fighting number one and number two like Tyron.
Yeah.
Tyron is a former champion. Tyron is a guy that was trying to be the best welterweight champion in the world, over surpassing GSP. That didn't quite happen. But for Tyron to go and all of a sudden start taking easier fights, I don't think he could do that. And so for Tyron to say, I'm not ready to retire, I still have some fights left in me, he would still have to fight tough guys like a Leon Edwards or a Gilbert Burns, or somebody in the top 5 to 10, which I believe at this point in his career, Tyron would still continue to have a little bit of trouble with. So it's really up to Tyron. I think he could have success still in the UFC, not quite as much success in that top 5 division, top 5 of the division anymore, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because going into this fight, he was ranked number 5. So, he's going to go down from there, obviously.
Yeah.
And, it's tough because I love him. He's great. Been friends for a really long time. And obviously that's something that is his call to make. It's just tough when you look and, in his last 3 fights, he hasn't won a round in 3 fights. That sucks. That's hard to take. And like you said, though, it is all against quality people, though, right? So it's understandable. It's totally understandable. But it has to make you, definitely what I would think, make you think, yeah, like I know he said he wasn't changing his coaches and all that stuff, but what do you do then? Where do you figure out what's not working for you? Because something's not working for you. It can't always, obviously the level of competition is very, very high. I know he expects so much from himself. So I guess my question is just, what's the disconnect between what he expects of himself and, you know, and what he's ready to do and what he's trained to do and what he's able to do and more than capable of doing, and why isn't it happening? That's what is so hard. And that's not, and obviously the competition is very good. Colby fought a great fight. Kamaru fought a great fight. You know, Gilbert. I guess the one that surprised me the most was Gilbert. Not because, no disrespect to Gilbert, but Gilbert he's just been coming up on such a tear so fast. Yeah. It was almost like it took you by surprise that he got good enough to beat Tyron that fast. You know what I mean? Not that fast, but so it's not about Gilbert not being good, because he's still going to get the next title shot, according to Dana and stuff. So it's just tough because it just leaves you with so many questions.
And you know what's interesting about it? I agree. When Usman did it to Woodley, some of us predicted it, some of us didn't. I thought that would happen. But to see Usman take Woodley down repeatedly, and out-muscle him and things like that. It's like the first time we were seeing that in quite a while, and it was surprising. But it was Usman. Usman was the guy that we knew was going to be the champ or whatever. So I agree, when Gilbert was able to do that to him, it was a bit more surprising because, like, wow, Gilbert's on the meteoric rise to the top.
Yeah.
But we didn't know if he was quite ready for Woodley, because Woodley's, you know, he's got this wrestling, he's got this power, he's got this punching power and everything. But he was still able to do it. And what the pattern that we've seen, in my opinion, Usman did it, laid the foundation to kind of how to beat Woodley. Gilbert did it, and did it a little bit better, because if you remember, Gilbert was able to drop Woodley. Like, we haven't really seen Woodley drop like that in a fight. And then when Colby came in, Colby was able to take him down repeatedly, hurt him, cut him, and finish him for the first time. So now we're kind of starting to see people taking that pattern and putting more and more into it. So, again, these are all top competitors. These are all guys that are big enough, strong enough, and good enough to put Tyron on the cage. It would be interesting to see if he did take a small step down, and it wasn't against as strong of a grappler. Right. I feel funny saying this. Like, give Tyron somebody that's not a strong grappler, because Tyron...
No, I know. I want him to fight a striker. Yeah.
but would somebody who's more of a striker than a grappler be able to control Tyron against the cage? And then would we see that same type of result? Or would we then have Tyron being the guy pushing forward and putting people on the cage? You know, or it's interesting to see, as you said, it's Tyron's expectation and belief in himself versus the reality of what we're seeing right now. And the reality of what we're seeing right now is not up to what he has in his mind. But he still has belief in himself, and that's the number one thing you have to have as a fighter. So he knows what he's still got left in the tank.
Yeah, I think that's my frustration, I guess. I know he's so much better than what we've seen. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what's hard about it. You're just like, I just want him to do well, you know, and it's just sort of frustrating. I'm sure he's very frustrated, but it's just really frustrating when you're watching somebody that you really care about and you're like, man, I don't understand what's not going right. Obviously though, Colby did everything right. Like you said, that kind of strategy that he has when you wrestle him a lot, put him up against the cage, exhaust him. It's a very smart strategy, and the blueprint was laid. So, it's tough. It will be interesting if after, if Kamaru beats Gilbert, if Colby and Kamaru rematch or anything like that. I will be curious to see how it goes. They got into it again on the air afterwards and stuff, and Kamaru still seems, very confident. He should be confident in everything that Colby said. Kamaru just was like, but I broke your face. So, but yeah, Colby fought a good fight. I know a lot of people have been talking about the stuff that he said afterwards during the interview, and I've gotten some messages, and I got a lot of questions about how I felt about it. And it's hard to really get into all of it for a lot of reasons, but there were several things that he said that I found to be totally disgusting and not acceptable. I couldn't really do anything about it, and I can't really do anything about it when it happens on the air and stuff like that. And it's stuff that he was saying to Kamaru, so really it's on Kamaru to respond or be offended or whomever. In a way, it's on him. It's an attack to him. But I'm sorry, I don't think that you can say, who called you? The people in your little tribe, and you got smoke signals? Like, that's so fucking racist. It's not cool. Like, it's not. So I get that it's an act. But, it's not funny.
Mm. I didn't enjoy it either. It ruined it for me. If I'm being honest. I'll tell you this. We'll back it up a little bit. Tyron came into the press conference doing the Black Lives Matter thing, not answering questions. And for me, it ruined it. I'm not trying to divert it. I'm getting to my point. But it ruined, like, come on, Tyron. Like, at least answer the question. The shirt was strong enough. Colby then combated that with how he came on the post-fight after a tremendous fight. Instead of, I don't expect Colby to be the bigger man. But after a tremendous fight, if he would have just went to, I want to be the champion, like, put the attention on who's next, give me that, then it would have been fine. But Colby took his attention to then combat what Tyron did and one-up it and to go, say, I want to do more. And it ruined it. I was like, God, like you had this tremendous fight, and now you're bringing race and politics in it and going more so than the guy that you're mad at. And then, again, what he said to Usman on the air, not cool. Everybody heard that. Everybody got what he was saying. It's the fight game, and racism has always been a part of it. It's been more so in the boxing era. Yeah. Racial stuff has kind of been more of a boxing thing, not so much of a martial artist thing, but it's seeping in the martial arts now more and more, and I don't want it to. I don't want politics seeping in. I'll say this. So, again, I did not like it. I thought you just ruined your victory by speaking this way, Colby. It didn't have to happen. All it needed to be is, I'm going to beat your ass, Leon Edwards, Usman, and then it's like, wow, this guy's the real deal. But you brought in shit that didn't need to be said, and it literally, a feeling inside of me while I'm watching it was like, I just didn't feel good about it anymore. So I want to say that because I want to say I want to get to the Trump thing. And so that was the craziest thing that I've seen in quite a while. And love Trump, hate Trump, or whatever your view on politics is, I thought that was like a really cool moment.
It was cool for him.
Yeah.
It was cool.
To see a president of the United States call, I don't think I've ever can remember, like, live on speakerphone, and Colby looking like he's talking to his great-grandpa that just came back from, like, I mean, it was like Colby, like, yes, sir, everything, sir. It was like, it was really a genuine moment, I thought, for Colby, kind of seeing, like, the little kid in him, the fanboy. And it was good to see Trump just kind of coming support the sport. And that whole moment I thought was kind of special. Again, politics aside, the moment was special. But then after that's over, you see Colby going back to it almost fueled him to go and back to being racist or talking about stuff they shouldn't have had. So it was a mixed feeling night. I thought it was a great fight, bad interview. Great moment when Trump called. Bad back and forth with Usman. So, again, it was a mixed feelings night. Colby fought great, did not handle it the way that I wish that he would have.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't like it, the speech, because most people shouldn't. I know a lot of people don't. Yes, huge moment for him to have the president call him. So that was neat, but
I know. It wasn't a great moment. It wasn't his finest hour, that's for sure. It wasn't.
Do you think Cowboy should retire? Let's move on. What's your take on that fight? Because that was strange. And I don't want to talk about him anymore. So it was strange. Niko celebrated. Cowboy was like, what the hell? It was interesting actually in the interviews, speaking of post-fight interviews, the one that Niko and Cowboy did together, because it was pretty funny to watch them both get all like emotional, and Cowboy's like, I want to just go and see my kids, and I'm sitting there saying to the guys, I'm like, Niko has 5 kids. I'm like, so if Cowboy wants to go home and see Danger and Riot, his new little baby, I was like, oh my God, he is gonna like freak out when he realizes Niko has 5 kids to go home to. So they were just so cute, like getting all, and we're all like, oh, it's getting dusty up, up here and everything. But it was a weird fight, because in a lot of ways there's things that Cowboy doesn't do badly still or anything like that. It's just that it just seemed a little bit slower. And there's just times when I was just like, man, everybody's just catching up to the veterans, and that's really what it's starting to look like. Even in the case of the main event, in the case of a lot of these other fights that we see, it's Chimaev and Meerschaert. It's like you're getting, you're seeing that the next generation, and we've talked about that before, is just like leaps and bounds ahead now.
They're getting so good, the younger guys so fast, and the older guys, which I'm speaking about me because I'm older than a lot of these guys, than Cowboy and all these other guys that I'm calling the old guys. So I'm including me in this. It's not just you, Cowboy. But, you're seeing him just fire a split second later than he might have used to fire. And you're seeing the fire a little bit more dimmed down than it used to be. The Cowboy that I imagine, the old Cowboy at 55, with the short shaved head and he's just like 8-pack and he's just like mugging everybody. And now I don't quite see that same ferocity out of him standing across the cage. I see a guy that's just ready to get it over with because, he hates these kind of awkward, nerve-wracking moments. But yeah, I thought Cowboy looked a little bit slower than normal, and he started notoriously slow, as he always does.
Yep.
And Niko was able to capitalize on that. Niko was able to hurt him, almost was able to finish Cowboy in the first round. Cowboy then kind of found his rhythm, but at that point, the fight started getting real awkward with all the eye pokes and everything happening. It started being a little more competitive, but the eye pokes, the scoring, it was a weird fight, as you said, for Niko to celebrate a draw so happily. It's like almost like he thought he was going to go into that fight to lose. Like he's like, oh my God, I did not lose. I'm so happy.
Right.
Cowboy knows, dude, this means that we get half our money. This is not a good thing.
Right.
But yeah, I remember when I fought Niko, he was just like that. He was just like that. He was like ecstatic, like goofy happy, and talking about his kids the whole time. So you can't get mad at the guy. But he's got, he's an interesting personality. He's an interesting guy. But yeah, it was just kind of an odd fight. For some reason, the rhythm of the fight, the things happening, it's a bit of an odd fight. They say they want to do it again. Yeah, the eye pokes. Dana says he has to have a talk with Cowboy, right? And so we know what that means, but is Dana going to convince Cowboy to retire? I don't believe so. Will Dana okay the rematch against Niko? I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if I want to see that fight again. It's not like a bad thing, but it's just like, and I wish I had somebody on the tip of my tongue that I want to see Cowboy fight, but I'm sure I could think of a fun fight for him.
Alan Jouban.
And Alan Jouban, exactly. Maybe after my fight. There it is. Thank you. But yeah, they say they want to do the rematch sometime next year. Dana says he wants to have a talk. We'll just have to see. But again, as we were comparing earlier to the fight, Cowboy is a guy that if he still got it in him, he could fight Niko Prices. He could fight guys in the top 30 because Cowboy's just Cowboy. He doesn't expect to be. He wants it, but we don't expect Cowboy to have to fight the best guy in the world for the belt. Cowboy's a guy that's just going to fight anybody and put on an entertaining fight, and he just brings the masses because he's an entertaining fighter. That's the comparison, the differential between him and Woodley. Well, Woodley has to kind of still stay in that top elite, top 5, top 10 realm for his relevance to stay there because he's too proud to go and fight a top 20 guy when he's been at the top of the hill for so long. So Cowboy can still fight. We got to see what he wants to do. I'm sure he said he has like years of fighting left in him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like everybody likes him. We all love watching him fight, but there's a little bit of your heart that breaks every time he doesn't win. You know what I mean? It's like it's 5
now.
I know, and so it's the thing where you just like, it hurts your heart some, you know what I mean? Just to watch him, because we all know what a gamer he is. We all know what an influence he is on so many other fighters. We all know like the legend of who Cowboy is. And we cling to that, you know what I mean? And you want to see that again. And then, you know, people thought he was done. And then that when he did that to Alexander Hernandez and lit him up, you know, last year in Brooklyn and stuff. And so there's still moments of greatness there. And I agree, like you're saying, like he doesn't have to, he can just pick fun fights now and do matchups. I mean, I can't say I'm overly compelled to see a rematch between him and Niko, but I'm not mad at it or whatever. I do think there's other people that could be stylistically also just fun. Niko's weird. Obviously, I'm not telling you about the fact that he's just so unorthodox and stuff like that. Like, it'd be fun. Maybe just give Cowboy just a straight up Muay Thai guy or something. You know what I mean? Just let him have a striking fight with somebody. I mean, which Niko essentially did give him a striking fight. But like, I don't know. I guess it's one of those things where, you know, same thing with Tyron, like they should go and they want to go. But I guess what'll be more important as they go along now are the matchups, right? And who they're given and what they can do to get excited. I mean, I don't know if you noticed. Did you notice Cowboy was wearing his old shorts underneath his Reebok shorts?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think he's continued to do that, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's continued to do that throughout the whole time. He puts those tights on, but you can see that during the fight, that old like American flag or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Still on there. Wearing it. I mean, he's talking about 40, 50 fights in his career.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, anyway, like you said, though, Niko is a really nice guy. And I remember I said this before, like after he beat you, I didn't want to like him. And then I was working one of his fights and I think I met his dad at first in the elevator or something. And he was so nice. And then when I met Niko, he was just so nice and good. You're like, damn, this is a good dude. You know what I mean? He actually is a really, really nice guy. Okay, so the other thing that we can get the choo-choo train sounds going in. I was already on the Khamzat Chimaev choo-choo train. I am going to stay on the Khamzat Chimaev choo-choo train. The hype on him is so real. Gerald Meerschaert, you know, a veteran, again, old school, new school, right? So Meerschaert, let me just get my little stats here. Because Gerald has like 30, he was 31-13 going into this fight. So Gerald has so much experience. And Khamzat was only 8-0 going into this fight. 17 seconds later, he was 9-0, and that was ridiculous. But you could hear it. You're like, oh my God! Like it just. I wasn't right in there, but you know, every time they played, like it was loud to hear that. Gerald, it was one punch. It was like feel out, boom, slept. What?
It was
unbelievable. And we were talking about that. Yeah, we were talking about the fact that he has, you know, the Alexander Gustafsson striking coach. That's what he's been raised under, all that. So it's kind of mind blowing to think that, you know, he's got that wrestling that he has, the ground and pound that he has. And now on the feet, he can do that too. I mean, granted, I want to see him get into a more extended exchange with somebody or an exchange with somebody because the strike differential on him is insane too. The numbers on him are absolutely insane. So I don't really know who's next. You know, Marcus Perez said something about, you know, challenging him to come over here. He is supposed to fight Damian Maia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to see that. I feel like I don't know. I don't know who Khamzat should fight next, but they're gonna. I usually don't like when they fast track people too much, but there is something to be said for like this guy is he is special.
He's special, and Dana plays by different rules when he sees somebody special. We saw that with Conor. We've seen that with a few other fighters before. This guy, I could not believe what I was watching, Karyn, when he knocked out Gerald. I stood up. I was screaming. I was saying, "You cannot be kidding me right now! Like, I mean, you got to be kidding me right now!" Right. I could not believe that happened. As you said, I want to see some exchanges. I want to see what happens, you know, in the long run of a striking exchange, when somebody gets up from his takedowns. I want to see these, just because my curiosity. I want to see how good is he. But for him to be able to be so dominant and yet another fight, to go from two maulings on the ground where everybody's like, you cannot let this guy take you down, to having a one-punch, 17-second knockout against a bigger, experienced opponent, it puts him in it's a Conor McGregor-ish. It's the first thing I thought of when he did that. I go, this is Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo. This is the nervous fighter against the calm fighter, somebody capitalizing on opportunity. Perfection. I could not believe it. the punch that he threw, it angled out wide, then it curved back in, hit right on the jaw, full power. He hit Gerald like you hit a punching bag. Like, we hit pads certain ways, but then when in a fight, you kind of get scared of getting hit back. So sometimes you kind of move your head aside. And he put his face and his body and his heart and his soul into that punch, and he slapped him in one punch. I could not believe it. So he's different. He's a guy that I absolutely think should get somebody in the top 15 next. If it's Demian Maia, I don't know if Demian Maia is a great matchup. Demian Maia is a very tough individual to fight if you do not have the grappling background to fend off the shots and the submissions. I think Khamzat will be able to fend that off. And then, as we've seen, Demian Maia's chin is not quite. Gilbert Burns hits hard, but his chin is not quite as much there. And Chimaev hits very hard, and he's very fast. And you talk about a speed differential. You put Demian Maia and Chimaev in the same octagon, it's gonna look like night and day when it comes to the speed, because he's super fast, and Maia is not as fast anymore. He's an older fighter, a grappler, different muscle fibers. I'm not talking down upon him. I'm talking about speed. So I really don't know. I'm game to watch whoever he fights. It's a very interesting scenario now. And again, we said this after the first fight, Alan, or I said this to you. Dana White hit the lottery on this guy because he goes to Fight Island and he comes back with superstars that we've never heard of. And now look what he has. He's got the next generation of superstars at a young age, undefeated, putting people out in 2 divisions. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's incredible. I made sure last time I was here on Fight Island after his fight, I was like, yeah, I need a picture with this guy, because I was like, because he's going to be, I was like, let me just get that picture now for when he's in the, champ.
Picture?
Yeah. My phone's over there. It's on my Instagram.
I mean, I just wanted to make sure you took it. You took a picture.
Yeah, I took an Instagram picture with him, and he's really endearing. And the thing about it, I agree with everything you said. And what's cool too is he already has his whole catchphrase, like, I'm here, to smash. You know what I mean? And the whole I smash. And he's just like, line them up, I smash. Like, he has a really endearing sensibility. I mean, he speaks like 4 or 5 languages already, but I'm sure his English will keep getting better too, which will be fun. What I think is interesting about him is he's so kind of soft-spoken in the interviews, and just so matter of fact about I will smash. And then, he goes in there, but he's a wrecking ball in there. So he's so fun to watch. And to your point about the power, he can go to 70 or 85. So he just slept an 85er with one punch. What's he going to do to the 70s now? See, that's what's crazy. And so, like you said, with Damian, obviously we know Damian can submit anybody and anything at any time. But the question is can you get past the punches to get the takedown? Can you get the takedown, or can you get on his back? I mean, we've seen Damian do sort of standing guillotines and backpack the guy, and that's a possibility for sure. He can get your hands on you, but like you said, the speed of Khamzat is so good that's a very big challenge. So yeah, I don't know, and I'm pretty sure it would be Damian's last fight, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the last 2 or so. So I would think he would want a fight that, obviously that would mean a lot to beat Khamzat at this point now, even though, I mean, he's suddenly a name. That would actually be a big deal because everybody thinks he's a wrecking machine. But at the same time, I don't know if it seems as a favorable a matchup and one that you want to risk as your last one, because I feel like even win or lose on your last one, you want to compete really well, right? You want to leave it all out there. You want to go for it and like have no regrets at the end of the day. And Khamzat's not the guy that lets you get enough time in the octagon to leave it all in there.
I agree. I agree with both things that you said. On how you said, on the other hand, and I lean towards the second half of what you said. On the other hand, if it is your last fight, I don't know if he is the opponent that you want to leave your legacy in the hands of, because you're not going to look that great against him. I wouldn't imagine. He could pull something off.
Totally.
And it would be kind of legendary to go out like that. But it's a high-stake risk game right there. So that's a tough one for Maia. Last thing on Khamzat I wanted to say is you said it. He's kind of soft-spoken, but he has his thing. His confidence, his kind of tagline. And what we also saw during this fight is that at the press conference that he could sit up there with the big boys and a table and a room full of other fighters.
That was great.
And suck the air out of the room.
That was great.
I mean,
yeah.
Soft-spoken, but he's sitting next to Cowboy. You know, you're a legend, but I will smash you. Sitting next to a guy telling him, I will smash you with full belief and honesty in it. And then telling the guy down there, yes, you will see, I will smash you. It's the total contrast of Conor McGregor's style.
Right.
But it's very, again, the way that Conor would own a room at a press conference when everyone's in there and still talk trash to multiple fighters when he has a fight on the deck already. And he did that. And it was just another element to like, this guy's a cash cow right now. So he's the real deal. And
obviously marketable around the world. It has a great appeal. You know what I mean? He's based in Sweden, but obviously is a guy that has a lot of appeal around the world. So I think he's great. I do. I just think he's awesome. And yeah, he just like you said, he's got that confidence. He's got that vibe. I mean, that also comes with being undefeated. You know, that's one thing. But you know, something that we were talking about on the show. And it kind of wraps up this conversation here about sort of Khamzat and Cowboy and Tyron. As I said to Rashad and Kamaru, I was like, you know, it's just really hard when you see guys like Cowboy and Tyron in there. You can tell that they love what they're doing and stuff, but you know, you see the work a little bit more. And then you see somebody like Khamzat, who's literally like a Doberman that you have to hold back with chains because he's like so ready to go. You know what I mean? That you're like, this guy wants to live, breathe, die, fight. Like he still has the I'll die in there mentality. You know what I mean? That we talked about, where the other guys now you're like, I'll provide for my family in there, you know? And it's such a clear contrast. Like it literally, I felt like on Saturday, it was like this obvious glaring story of new school, old school. Like this is the machine that these kids are turning into now, these fighters and stuff. And to see, and I even said it, I tweeted it out. I was like, I just see pure joy on Khamzat's face when he's in there. Like, it's joyous. You don't see that on everybody's face. When you see that, and you see that coupled with his ability, it is really, really something to behold. And like, I love that we're here, like at the beginning. I think that's what I really am excited about, is being here at the beginning of his story to see where it goes. Because I just think he's great. I think he's great.
I agree. It's like a guy you're holding back, like a Doberman. He's ready to go and fight. He's so eager. He gets it done so quickly, and he didn't even break a sweat or get punched. He's staying healthy. It's everything you want. It's Floyd Mayweather-ish, where you're hitting people, not taking any damage, and building a record.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Well, otherwise on the fights, I was impressed with Mackenzie Dern. I thought she looked really good in this fight, and it's nice that she's working with Jason and getting her hands going more. You know, and she's such a nice girl, so I was really happy for her. I'm curious what you thought on the Johnny Walker one against Ryan Spann, because I thought for sure Johnny Walker had gotten knocked out and then woke back up and then won the fight.
Spann was doing good. You cannot give these bigger, taller, longer arm guys the ability to elbow you in the side of the head. Holding guys on the cage at waist level has become a no-no. It's so dangerous. We've seen it over the years with Travis Browns and people like that. They have the arms are so long that they could get that awkward angle and elbow you with a lot of power. Johnny Walker is that individual, a fast twitch muscle fiber, long arm, tall guy that at any point in the fight could still be dangerous. So Spann was doing so well, but he got against the cage and he said, I'm going to take a breather and hold him. And he gave Johnny the opportunity. Had he not done that, had he popped him off the cage or continued doing something else, I think he probably would have gotten the victory. It was a small mistake, but it was also Johnny Walker recognizing and capitalizing on that opportune moment. But that fight kind of sums up Johnny Walker as a fighter. I mean, like, he's explosive. He can come back at any second. But he gets hit. I mean, the guy gets hit and he gets rocked, but then he's like explodes right back into it and gets a victory. He was out. I saw he was with a friend of mine partying, doing pool parties and everything all weekend. Like, he didn't miss a beat. He won the fight, got hit, was partying all weekend. Johnny Walker. He's fun to watch, though. He's real fun to watch.
He is fun to watch. And, now he's working with the SBG and John Kavanaugh. So it will be interesting to see how much better he gets because, that's just the first fight with a new team. And we know the first fight, you're still learning the system or whatever. And obviously we know John Kavanaugh does great things with a lot of people. So I am looking forward to that. So yeah, that's cool. And it was fun. It was fun. It was a fun night. And like I said, then right after work, went back to the hotel, hung out with the guys for a bit, like Anik and, Shot and Buff and who else was it? Paulie, Paul, Felda. So we were all hanging out for a bit because it was like, hey, we all have to leave in like a matter of hours to go catch the flight, So 3 a.m. we left the hotel, went over to the airport, got on the flight. So, it's the soul plane, the UFC soul plane to Abu Dhabi. And this weekend, obviously, we have UFC 253. So we have the 2 title fights, Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa, a.k.a. Borrachinha. And we also have Jan Blachowicz versus Dominick Reyes for the vacant light heavyweight title. And Alan, I don't know if we're going to put money down on this stuff, but I think Borrachinha is really entertaining and he's good and obviously incredibly powerful and all this. But after Israel beat Whitaker, I was like, I don't know if I can bet against Israel anymore.
Yeah. I'm not putting money down, but I'm putting money down on the pay-per-view. This is the fight, Karyn, that I probably am looking forward to most thus far this year. Yeah. I got to say, though, let me back myself up real quick because I was going to say, the rivalry, the tension, the hatred is real. But then I saw some very nice, you saw that meeting between them?
Yeah, here at the hotel. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Yeah.
Shaking hands, joking face to face. There was no animosity. Nobody to hold them back. So it wasn't a bad thing. But I thought there was more of a hatred. Well, I think it's just a competitiveness. I think it's a competitiveness that's saying, look, I get in there. I'm going to make this skinny guy cry. I'm going to make this guy miss. I'm going to take him out. But in person, they were actually pretty good. Now, look, back it up. You remember a couple fights back when Israel won. He gets on the cage. He's flicking off Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa is losing his mind. I think he was injured and wearing a silk shirt. And they had to hold him back. So there is a bitter rivalry in there somewhere. But I think I think the men have a tremendous respect for one another more so than the hatred. And we saw that when they brushed shoulders in the hotel recently. So with that said, the competitiveness of this rivalry right here and having 2 undefeated fighters from opposite ends of the striking spectrum, smooth swagger, style bender, the powerful aggressiveness, pressure fighter of Costa. These guys are going to collide, and I cannot wait. I would not put money on this fight, but I got to say, I'm such a style bender fan.
Me too.
I feel like Costa is just a smashing machine right now, and I don't know if Stylebender is going to be able to get out of it. I'll say, and let me just back it up with one thing. Both men take a lot of damage. Both men fought Yoel Romero. Obviously, when Stylebender fought him, it was kind of a snooze fest, but he didn't take any damage. When Costa fought him, Costa was tremendously beat up and damaged.
And it was a close fight.
It was a very close fight, but he took more damage. So Paulo Costa sometimes can get hit more than Stylebender, but also look how much damage Stylebender took when he fought on a mission for gold. Why am I?
Kelvin Gastelum.
Kelvin Gastelum, thank you very much. He got hit a lot by a pushing forward aggressive striker, but that's not nearly as powerful as Paulo Costa. So I don't know. I feel like Paulo Costa, if they get into exchanges, I feel like he's got a young chin still. I don't think he's been rattled too much in the chin.
Right.
And I think his power and aggression is going to give Stylebender a little bit of trouble. But I'm giddy for this fight. Like, I have to watch this fight. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And you remember, though, Borrachinha did get went to I guess he kind of got dropped by Uriah Hall. He got in a little trouble in that fight, but he turned it around and won that fight. So yeah, he's faced some adversity, and yeah, that fight with Yoel was tough, and it was a very close fight. So he is very good. I just think that in this fight, the longer it goes, the better it is for Israel. We'll see if Borrachinha can go as many rounds and can handle that. Certainly the old theory that the more muscular guys get tired quicker would favor Israel in this fight. I see some people and they're like, Costa versus like runner Sanya or something. I don't think Israel runs around. I mean, he's a kickboxer and stuff, but I don't think he runs away and avoids action. I don't think that about him. But some people, fight. whatever.
Yeah,
I think that's silly.
If you're only looking at the Yoel fight, which both men were very reserved in their striking.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, he goes out there and he puts the leather on the face. Yeah. He does it in a smart manner. But no, he's a very skilled striker, and that's obvious. But I mean, what I mean that in terms of he makes you make a mistake and then he capitalizes. He doesn't rush in there stupidly. He's a smart striker.
Yeah, and also to your point about their competitiveness, I don't just if the stuff that I see from Israel on his social media and the stuff that he says, he seems so against hate. You know what I mean? He seems like he has a big heart. So I think it would only ever be a competitive hatred of his opponent. I get the feeling from him that he, just because of, if he's gone through some stuff in his life, I think he's seen how hatred has done so many bad things in the world, so I think he's just more of like a competitive guy. And I would say, hyping the fight and, trying to get under the guy's skin or something like that. But he doesn't strike me as somebody who would really, truly hate his opponent. And, I say that for a lot of people. I think most people don't. Some people do.
I would agree with his vibe. He's not that type of person. I would agree.
Yeah, I don't think so. And also, I love that he signed with Puma. Like, I have more Pumas in my closet than any other sneaker, so I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. This way, he can be like, "Can you hook a girl up?" Yeah, but okay. So, on that one, I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen on that one, but it will be great. And the other one with Reyes and Blachowicz, I think so many people think that just because they believe that Dominick maybe beat John, or just because that fight was so close, that they've already sort of written him in as the champion. But you got to remember that Jan Blachowicz, he's very, very powerful. And yes, maybe he moves a little bit slower, and maybe he's more of I describe him as more of like a meat and potatoes fighter, but meat and potatoes have fed a lot of families for a lot of years. You know what I mean? Meat and potatoes get stuff done. So that power, the power to he knocked out Corey so fast and all that. So I don't think it's just a guarantee that Dominick wins this fight.
No, not at all. You got to have the meat and potatoes if you're going to have the gravy, okay? That's what wins fights, the meat and potatoes. The gravy, everything else is just extra sprinkled on. I do think Dominick Reyes is probably the favorite, and I think that he probably has more ways, or not even more ways. I don't know if he's going to go and submit him, but I think he's the more diverse fighter. But Jan, as you mentioned, I give him the power advantage. You've seen that type of one-punch power. Reyes is tremendously powerful as well, but John Jones was able to take his punches and continue on. A lot of people have been able to take his punches. It's just his punches in bulks and its explosion that will catch up to you, where Jan can land that one or two and really put your lights out. So I think that's kind of where we're going to be seeing the fight of Jan trying to land the big one or two, Reyes exploding with multiple strikes in that fight in there. But two big, strong guys. I think that's going to be a fan-friendly fight. I don't see this not be. Both of them, the main and the co-main event are going to be very fan-friendly fights. And both of them 5-rounders, so we should get our money's worth.
Yeah, it will be good. And, Blachowicz also was really good at stuffing Jacare's takedowns when they fought. And, he's good. He's good. So I agree with you, though. Dominick has more flair, and he seems like maybe more I agree with you. So he sort of seems more versatile in there, like maybe that he's got more different kicks or, and that kind of thing. But I don't know. The question will be, is he overconfident or anything about this too? Does he think, I beat John Jones, I can beat this guy? Like, that's the thing that I would be concerned about, is if I'm in his camp, is tempering his confidence here, building him up and everything. But like, yo, dude, like, don't overlook this guy.
I agree tremendously. You cannot make a career off of doing good against John Jones. And I'm not saying that he's doing that, but he's very much played up the part of, hey, lots of people thought I won. Right. But, as we know, styles make fights, and he might have just been a good style matchup against John Jones. So you really never know. But if he can get out of the way of Jan's big power strikes, I think he will have a good chance of winning this fight.
Yeah, cool. Well, so for this Saturday, as I mentioned before, I don't usually work pay-per-views, but this time I am doing the Facebook quick hits for this. So I got my schedule. So basically, I'll be on the UFC Facebook page doing interviews and things. So I think our buddy Henry Cejudo is supposed to Skype in with me and do some stuff, give some predictions and talk some stuff. We do, like, Yanni the Greek also dials in and does some things. But then backstage, I do interviews with a bunch of the winners and stuff. Like, I think I interview everybody on the main card or something like that. So that'll be really fun. So that'll be on the UFC's Facebook page, which according to Dana, he says, like, on those pressers, he's always talking, we got 1 million people watching that, those on fight nights and stuff. So I don't know, it'll be kind of funny. What I'm looking forward to is it's like really unscripted, basically. Like, there's things I have to do, and sort of. I guess we play some trivia with the fighters, but there'll be some things that I have to do. But mostly I get to sort of freestyle and have some fun. So that will be fun because usually on fight night when I am working, I got to be a lot more buttoned up and everything, right? Because I'm the traffic cop doing the show, and I'm doing all this other kind of stuff that's more structured and formal. And from what I'm understanding, this will be looser. So it'll be fun. And then on the next 2 shows after that, I'm doing the reporting on the 3rd and the 10th. So it's going to be fun. And I get out of quarantine, and well, when I wake up, basically, I think they'll probably come around, maybe hopefully around 9 or 10. I'll get out of quarantine. And so Angela Hill and I had already been talking, because there's that racetrack. Well, tonight there were people on it on bicycles, and I don't know if we're allowed to or not. I heard a rumor that we can't do that this time, but I really hope so, because both of us were like, okay, well, if we can do that tomorrow, then we're down. We're going to ride bikes and stuff. But yeah, it'll be nice to get out of the room. But I can't complain too much, Alan. I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty sweet. So I can't complain. I got a box of chocolates under here that they gave me and stuff. And the W is definitely nice. And here's the so they give us these like menus. So this is one of the things here, and they added a couple more on the other restaurants. It looks like they kind of upped some of the food choices and increased. But yes, my falafel is still on the menu, and probably about 12 hours from now, I'll be mainlining that hummus and falafel like right into my. It's so good.
You see, I just got back from training, and I rushed and did the podcast. I didn't eat yet. Now I'm starving. You're showing me the menu here, talking about falafels. I can't wait to go eat now.
Nice, very nice. But yeah, so again, for your fight is in November, and yeah, so you're really ramping up. I mean, are you going to be doing? Because I know obviously you're posting a lot of stuff on social media, but are you going to do like camp blog and all that kind of stuff?
I think I'm just going to keep it normal, do my thing, nothing special social media. But I am bringing Eric Williams. E-Will Photography, Eric Williams. Of course. Fantastic photographer.
He's great.
A photographer. But he's like an artist. He captures not just a picture, but like a moment. And he's got, he has pictures of St. Pierre and Anderson Silva that are probably worth $250,000. I mean,
we were there.
No, you were there? He's captured some beautiful moments. Chuck Liddell, when they were Ronda Rousey at the height of their fame. And so we've always worked on and off, and he's kind of with me this camp. So I feel very fortunate. He's been capturing some just amazing stuff. So we're probably going to document this camp together, which will be fun. So you'll probably see a lot of that coming out on my social media as well.
Nice. Yeah, no, Eric's incredibly talented. He takes
very much.
Stunning pictures. If people have seen the one where Anderson Silva's got half of the way the Spider-Man mask, the one where Vanderlei is covered in blood, the ones were shot on the beach, the black and white, like he's done so many great photos. Like you said, he's got a real artist flair. He's an artist. He's not taking snapshots. It's art. It's really nice. So you guys are going to get some great stuff. That's awesome.
100%. No, I'm happy to have him.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, cool. Well, I am going to, once I get out of here, I want to try to do more, from Fight Island here. But the hard part is the fighters, a lot of them, they stay on that overnight schedule. So I don't get to see too many of them around sometimes, because I'm like, I want to grab more interviews and, do more things with the fighters. So it is a little bit tough during the week sometimes catching up with them. But, I plan to try to get some more, but at least, on Instagram and, I'll be, trying to do more stories and IG Live things or whatever to catch up. So maybe, I'm sure one day Angela and I could get on together, either here on YouTube or something. Maybe Angela and I will do a live chat or something like that. My girl Evie is here from Globo, the one that I was doing the Trocasao podcast with me. She got crazy busy. She got so many jobs. So we had to kind of pause that, but we want to try to revive it while we're here, at least do a couple of things together and stuff. So, so hopefully folks, if you aren't subscribed here on the Karyn Bryant channel, you can hit subscribe. Over on Twitter, I'm Karyn Bryant. On Instagram, it's KB Heat. And you can, of course, follow MMA Heat across the board as well. Follow our producer, Wade Eck. It's just Wade Eck across the board, although on one of them it's Wade.Eck. But very simple name to remember. And Alan, where can they follow you and get all the stuff on your pre-fight gear?
Yeah.
All that?
Keeping with the simple terms, at Alan Jouban, people. That's it. At Alan Jouban. Follow me, follow Karyn, follow Wade, follow the show. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it, guys.
Hey, and also, Alan, why don't you plug away? Your beautiful wife has a store when people need some supplies for the pandemic.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yes, my wife, Nicole, she's on Instagram, but her store, oh my God, she's going to beat my ass.
La Tierra.
Nicole, La Tierra.
Hey, Nicole.
Dang it.
Alan Jouban, you better figure.
You keep messing me up, Karyn. Last weekend, I had to think for a second about our anniversary date. It's La Tierra de Nicole. De Nicole,
I thought.
I'm going to post it. Check this out, guys. Follow me if you don't already. I'm going to post one of her things. But anyway, if you need masks, she's got like designer masks, different masks. If you need the face shield, she's got those. She's got designer ones, cheap ones. She's got some really cool bandanas. If you want to just go bandana look on the head, on the face, she's got a lot of good stuff like that. So I'm going to post it on my social media. Karyn messed me up. I got to go apologize to my wife. But thank you for the shout out.
Wade can put up a save. Wade'll put up, just pay Wade extra. He'll put up a little graphic and just slide that right up there. He'll just cut out the part where you didn't know what you were saying. Just smash it together. No.
Perfect. That's what we need.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I'm gonna hit the hay now, but now it's like I'm awake again. I was napping, I'm awake, but we'll see. The good news and the bad news is they actually did stock my mini bar this time. Last time we didn't have one, and I opened it. I didn't expect it. Yeah, I know. I didn't expect it because I just was going to make there's coffee, next to it and stuff. And I opened it up. I was like, oh my, oh wow, okay. I didn't know, but so I have that option, but I haven't had anything yet. Like I said, yesterday I was feeling crappy, and then today I was like, let me just kind of like purify and try to detox and stuff like that. So I might just take the week and just like go clean for a week and just kind of, I say that now, and then I know I'll be drinking beer by the pool with Angela in a minute, but anyway, yeah, no, it's good. This place is great, hotel wise and stuff like that. So looking forward to it. And it is not quite as hot as it was before. It's hot still, but it's not quite as bad. But the humidity, it's here for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for checking it out, folks. And we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.